Hello there! My name is Leon. Today we will be talking about how I built my Lyney. I recently actually just got a new bow for him. I lost my 50-50. Points for Lyney. He gets it. I don't have a Yelan. Anyway, he's got 21,443 HP, 1,715 attack, 634 defense, 37 EM, 65 over 180 crit damage, 140 ER, 46 pyro damage bonus. Weapon-wise, I have them on the Aquila Simulacra. I like the additional HP for him. And then when the opponent's nearby, the damage dealt by the wielder of this weapon is increased by 20%. I don't know what nearby means, but hopefully hopefully Lyney ends up close enough. I tend to shoot people from a far bit away, so I'm hoping I just gotta start playing him closer to the enemy. Anyway, other weapons I would put my Lyney on are the Skyward Harp, the Scion of the Blazing Sun, Song of Stillness. Which one is this? This one, the Craft of One from Fontaine. Rogue's Gauge. That's not it. Which other one was I thinking? There we go. Range Gauge. When the wielder is healed or heals others, so when he uses the gain unity symbol, 30 seconds. It's got the attack percent subset. I would put him on, if you have anything that could crit damage, put him on that. If not, I'd throw him on its attack percent. Symbol soon, 3%. Rogue's Gauge, and then actually, we could put him on Messenger, Slingshot, or Raven. Is this one? No. This one? The Raven Bow. Increase damage against Hydra, Pyro, Hydra. That tracks. Slingshot, I believe it's, normal charge hits within 3 seconds. So as long as you're close enough, you're good with that. And then Messenger, charge attack hits, weak point, 200 plus attack damage is crit damage, which is nice. Anyway, so those are his weapon options. I feel like I'm going through it rather quickly. But really, I would throw him on crit damage if you have it. You most likely don't. If not, put him on attack percent. I find the Craftable Fontaine Bow actually works really well. Wielder is healed. I tend to always have healer with him. I think it's best to run him with a healer. 16% more damage, and then you can easily R5 it because it is a craftable weapon. Artifact-wise, I say run him on a 4-piece Marchusei Hunter, but you could also run him on like a 4-piece Wanderer Troop or Shimawara's Resistance. Let me pull that one up. It gives attack and when casting an element of skill. If the character has 15 more energy, they lose a little energy. So after he would use his E, he loses a little bit of energy, but then his charge attacks will do more, and he can do the charge, gain more stacks, and he'll probably gain his energy back, and then he can use his ult. I think Marchusei's Hunter is the best. It increases his charge attack damage by 15%. That's a lot of his damage. And when HP is increased or decreased, he'll be doing that a lot. His crit will be increased by 12, maximum of 3 stacks. So most likely you'll have 36 more crit. So really, instead of the, 60 something, he's got like 90. Was it 60 or 50 that he had? 65, he'll basically have 100. As long as I have all 3 stacks, and most of the time I think you'll end up with all 3 stacks. Lyney tends to have lower HP, he takes his own, and then he'll heal himself with the E, and then if you have a healer, he'll get the heals. Now, main stat-wise, stands you on attack, power damage for Goblet, and then crit rate or crit damage, whichever one you deem you need more of, on his on his crown. And then substat-wise, I would focus crit rate, crit damage, whichever you have the least of, or both. Attack percent, and then probably I would do some EM. And then ER too, especially if you find yourself needing and heals a lot with him, because that will automatically give him 1 stack. Cons. We'll go over cons next and then go over his talents. Con-wise, when you use his charge, he summons a Grinmaker hat. He will summon 2 Grinmaker hats with his charge attack. Let me make sure I say these right. And so he will summon 2 more Grinmaker hats with his thing. You have 2 Grinmaker hats present at once, and it grants Lyney 1 extra staff of prop surplus, which should be the little thing, if I recall correctly. That gives him his thing. And then it can equip her once every 15 seconds. His C2 When Lyney's on the field, he will gain a stack of crisp focus every 2 seconds, which will increase his crit damage by 20%, maximum of 3 stacks. And then it will go off when Lyney leaves the field. Now his C3 is an increase of his base attack. His C4 is after opponent is hit with Lyney's charge attack, their pyro resistance will be decreased by 20% for 6 seconds. His C5 increases the level of his ult, and his C6, when Lyney fires a prop arrow, which is his double charge state. If you play him, you should know what that is. He will fire a pyronetic strike reprise that will deal 80% of pyronetic strike damage as charge attack damage. So it will scale off of his base. Now let me see if I can remember what, if I recall, pyronetic strike. What was that? And you can see HP and firing prop arrow. I think pyronetic strike is actually in-shot. Pyro infuse, level 2, prop arrow, Gridmaker. 5 stacks, yeah, props. Yes! And then when Gridmaker Hat is destroyed, that's what fires off the pyronetic strike. Gridmaker Hat, as you can see here, when he gets charge level 1, you typically won't be using this one. Charge level 2 is the important one. It'll fire the prop arrow, it deals pyro damage. It'll summon a Gridmaker Hat, and it will give you 1 stack of prop surplus, which is the max of 5 stacks. Of course, if you have a C1, you'll get 2 stacks every 15 seconds. Now, the effect will remove once the character spends 30 seconds out of combat. The lowest Lyney can drop to through this method 60% of his max HP. So yeah, and you also don't want him off field for too long, clearly. And then his Gridmaker Hat can taunt opponents. It can only taunt each opponent can only be taunted by the hat once every 5 seconds. It'll inherit a percentage of Lyney's max HP. So again, the HP that he gets from melee with is really nice. And then when destroyed, or when Restoration expires, it'll fire the pyronetic strike at one near opponent, doing pyro damage. Only 1 attack can exist at a given time, unless you have a C1. Now, pyronetic strike does a total of 381 damage, and then if you have the reprise, it will do, well, actually it'll do more because you'll have level up on this, but it'll do 80%. Anyway, level up wise, I would do his base. I think I'd do his base as E and then his alt. I don't know what their reference. His base E alt. I just have his base fully leveled, and then I'm gonna crown this guy eventually. I have a lot of other characters to build right now. I love you, Lyney, but not right now. Anyway, team-wise, I have him on a team. I know everyone says Kokomi's really good for him, and I do actually have Kokomi, so I could. Where is she? There's Cocofish. I have Kokomi. I just don't want to run her with him. One, because I end up running around so much as Lyney. Kokomi's standstill healing just doesn't work for me. I do understand why Kokomi's really well, especially if you can get that Hydro application on the enemy and then he can vape them. That'd be great. It doesn't work for me. So I like running him with Shangling, Bennett, and Kooky. Kooky, great heals, keeps his HP up. He'll be able to do his shots, then it will also heal him, and Shangling's just there for additional damage, which is really nice. I don't know if I'll ever edit his team, but really with Lyney, you want to make sure he at least has 1 healer, so he has consistent enough healing. And I mean, if you can get your Bennett to have his ult laid down, and you can have him in the circle, and you can have him healing enough from that, I say you could do that, and you could put, like, Kazuha in here. Like, instead of Kooky, you would have Kazuha, and then he would swirl the pyro, and you would do additional pyro damage. Gosh, I can't remember, but there's something in Lyney's kit that, let me pull him back up. I believe it is this. Let's see the following buffs, damage, pyro. Each pyro party member other than Lyney will cause the damage dealt to increase by additional 20%. And then you can deal to 100% increased damage to opponents affected with pyro in this way. Lyney gains damage with additional teammates of pyro, so you kind of want him on a mono pyro team. Honestly, if I had a good healer, which I don't even know if there's any pyro healers, I don't think there is, but if they ever release a pyro healer, that character, If they ever release a pyro healer, that character has a really good chance of ending up on my Lyney's team. Oh yeah, there's Chevy who runs off Overload. I could look at building Chevreuse, but I don't think she has consistent healing. I think it's just her burst heals. I don't know, I don't play Chevreuse much. I would look into Chevy, but I don't think they have any. I don't think we have any consistent healers. Do we? Let's see. Character archive. Do we have any consistent pyro healers? I don't believe so. Yeah, I was just missing a bunch of DPSs. So our only pyro healer is Chevy. And if I recall, Chevy heals projectiles and explosion. Is her E? HP regen. Okay, so this is over time. Maybe I could put Chevy on it. Closely over shoulder, must get fire shot. She will continue to restore speed to active character on field. The amount of each fashion. Okay, maybe you could run Chevy if you wanted to go full pyro on his team. Anyway, the team I run is this. I say you definitely want to have a healer, and then besides that, just focus on different ways that you can buff him. Yep, those are the two things I would say to focus on with Lyney's team. That's why I run him like this. Bennett's here for buffing, Shailing's here for additional damage, sub DPS, and he's here for heals, and then Lyney is here because it is his team. And he's a pretty tough character. Anyway, let's have Lyney go beat his superior. Ajax, you're gonna get beat up by one of your fellow Harbinger's children. I don't think I'll bother using their ults until I get to the last phase. You're gonna lose to this bow user, child. But, like I said, as you can see, I move around a lot as Lyney. So, that's why I don't use Kokomi for healing with him. That right there. Hey, let me use his ult. Where dare you? Stop moving! Oh my gosh. Okay, there we go. And then hopefully, if I use all the ults, I wonder how quickly he'll die. Dang it, he moved right as I was about to attack it every single time! Ajax, could you just stand still for 2 seconds? Oh, thank you for coming into range. Oh, I meant to swap. Oh well, I'll just finish him off like this then. I got hit already. Oh yeah, I can't select that. Anyway, that's it for Lyney. As you can see, his Pyronetic Shock actually does a whole lot, and I find it's really good. I may C1 him someday, but I have a ton of other characters I want to get first, and frankly, I think I'd get his bow before I C1 him. Anyway, that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like. And if you want to see more like it, please subscribe. I will definitely be doing more how I built. And that's all. I hope you have a blessed rest of your day.